Hi, welcome back to the workshop for episode 8 of the Telecaster refurbishment project, and this time we can finally start to put this thing together. So the first bit of this I'm going to tackle is just sorting out the electrics. I need to change a switch because I'm not very happy with it and the wiring just looks a bit scruffy. There's also, as you can probably see, a couple of extra capacitors on there, and they were there to change the tones for the different selector switch positions on the Esquire setup. Once I stripped all the wiring off, I just cleaned away any excess solder with my snazzy solder pump. Very handy bit of kit, highly recommended. And then set about tinning everything ready for the rewiring. The Telecaster wiring is very straightforward, so I'm not going to go into any details. There's multiple wiring diagrams available on the internet. I kind of like to use Seymour Duncan's, they're always very reliable. And just to keep the output jack wires tidy, I'm just going to twist them together with the drill. This is also going to make them move as a pair, which will cause less stress on the solder joints. And we just tin them up using the handy wiring octopus. Okay, so with the electrics done, we now need to just get on and get everything reassembled, and I'm going to start with the neck. And the first job is to get the tuners in place. So we'll start with the bushings, and hopefully they're not going to be too tight. Might need a little bit of a tap. And as always with these things, I'm just going to get some wax onto these little screws before I do anything else, just to kind of ensure against them snapping off. And we try and put them in. I'm only snugging these screws up for the moment because I'll line them all up using a ruler, as you can see here. And then we'll just put the string tree on, and then that's everything on the neck assembled. And then we can move on to the body and start with the strap buttons as always. I find that having the strap button, especially at the bottom of the body, just gives you somewhere to rest it, keep the finish from getting scuffed up or marred. And then I can start to get the neck pickup in place. Instead of using springs for the upwards and downwards adjustment on the pickup, we're going to be using some surgical rubber tubing. You can just see I've dropped a bit there. Works in very much the same way. And then just temporarily screw it in position. And then we can start to assemble the bridge pickup into the bridge itself. This is a Tome Rider Vintage Plus Tele pickup. I've used these quite a bit. I really like them. They do give that proper vintage Telecaster twang, but they also dirty up really nicely. So if you're fond of overdriven Telecaster sounds, these are a pickup I would recommend. And again, these are held in place and adjusted with surgical rubber tubing. And again, a little bit of wax onto the 4 screws that hold the bridge in place. These are slightly bigger screws, so they're not likely to break, but it just makes getting them in a little bit easier. And then we just need to drop the scratch plate on. And that wonderful satisfying moment of pulling that plastic off the scratch plate. Okay, so it's time to get this all wired up now. There's not actually a lot to do. There's just these 4 wires need connecting onto the controls that we previously wired up. So I'm just going to put a little cloth down there to protect everything. And basically what needs to happen is the 2 white wires, that's from the bridge pickup, that's from the neck, they will be attached to the appropriate lugs on the switch, and these 2 wires will then go to ground, and we're all good. Telecaster, so there's no additional bridge ground, it's grounded through the bridge pickup. So yeah, very, very straightforward. So as always, I'll just start by tinning these wires. Try my best not to get it onto the bodywork. And then the last little job that we need to do on the body before we put everything away is to just fit these little string ferrules. Now I've put quite a lot of lacquer on this body, and I doubt very much that they're going to be a easy push fit. So what I'm going to do is get them kind of started, and then I'm just going to put the soldering iron on them for a few seconds, get them nice and warm. And what this will do is help melt the lacquer a little bit that's holding it off. And hopefully I can just push that in like that. Seat it nice and flush. You don't need too much heat, but you need to make sure you've got enough to make pushing them in easy. And that's it, done. So now this is ready to get the neck on. But before I do that, I'm just going to plug this in and do my usual tap test just to make sure that all the electrics are working as they should be. Okay, so that's everything on the body fitted and tested, and everything's working well. Looking really nice. So the next obvious step is to stick the neck on it. But this one's getting quite long now, so I'm going to leave that till next time for what will be the final episode in this series. So don't forget, drop me a like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe if you haven't already done so, or just leave me a comment. It's always nice to hear from people, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.